Is this the Dr. Ray?
What are you asking me?
Are all people mentally ill?
I have no idea.
Boy, you hit the nail right on the head there.
Now, why would I say something so dumb?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't remember what I said.
You're always contagious, by the way.
Am I really that awful?
I don't care. I'm not concerned with that stuff.
And I guess that's true, but doggone.
As usual, you're doing all the talking.
Well, are you better than God?
No way.
I'm going to give you some bad news. You got a problem.
I just wanted to call and get some wise advice, hopefully.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
I can't take that particular set of bumpers. Always ends up with hopefully. Always ends up in doubt. I don't like the tone that creates for potential callers. You have to take a chance on getting some useful advice, some useful nuggets, something you can take with you to the bank, psychologically speaking. I'm Dr. Ray. The program here is hopefully the doctor is in, and hopefully you will call, and hopefully you'll get some decent guidance. Now, I can't do therapy here. This is not a clinical setting, but I can educate, give you a few thoughts, some nuggets, maybe some notions that'll help you. And best case scenario is you come up with yourself through skillful questioning on my part. Don't notice that, do you? See, I want to get you to say what I was going to say. But if you don't say it, then I'm going to say it. But it's easier when you say it because you believe it more when you say it. That said, here's the number. Hopefully you'll call. 877-573 7825 877-57 equal. If question about a family situation, discipline situation, marital situation, question about something in psychology or development or intellect or emotions or behavior that you don't understand, could be generic, doesn't have to do with anything personal, just be something you say, you know what, I don't get. Or you ask a cultural question. When I was in grad school, man, we never really paid as much attention to the culture and its shaping effects. No, sorry, bad word. Misshaping effects that it has now. We dealt with the person, and it was more or less the internal struggles, all the things going. Well, now the culture is just aligned against people who want to raise their children with a moral value, a traditional religious worldview. It's everywhere. They control the institutions. So all that said, those questions come in. Sometimes questions come in that are an intersection between the faith, something in the faith that is a struggle for you, and as it relates to perhaps some principle in psychology. So the number is 877-573-7825. 877-57 equal. Now, those of you calling in, rest assured, I will get to you. I appreciate your patience on the line, and hopefully you'll put the phone down, go do what you got to do, keep it on speaker. You don't have to sit there, not like the old days. You had a 6-foot cord and you had to just sit there. I wonder how many people would call if that's the way it was. If you didn't have that smartphone in your hand and you could just go anywhere with it and you just kept it on speaker and you could do everything you wanted. Mow the lawn. Change the transmission fluid while listening to me. Okay, that said. I had a call fairly recently. The situation that the gentleman has since emailed me, and he recognized that my spidey senses were up because he was skeptical. Some of the things that I was suggesting or considering, he was skeptical that most of the people in his life, and his pediatrician, all suggested that his 13-year-old daughter was seriously disturbed. Even, quote-unquote, questionable demonic oppression because of her outbursts. Pretty intense, prolonged, an hour maybe, damaging stuff. And, of course, He called in, and he was talking about getting her to a psychiatrist, getting her some therapy. Therapy is notoriously ineffective for behavior problem 13-year-olds, but that's another monologue for another time. And I said something like, well, you know, if you go to a psychiatrist, there's a very high chance that you're going to get medication for your daughter. And his point was, that's what I want. All right. So we talked. And he admitted he was truly skeptical. And his wife, when he told his wife what I said, she said, what is that? Is that guy crazy? Is that guy nuts? See, he wasn't a regular listener to this program at all. In fact, I don't know if he ever listened. But when everybody was telling him how disturbed his daughter was, something was really wrong with his daughter. And he needed to get meds and he needed to get therapy because she was way beyond normal parenting. I smelled some things in his portrayal, in his details. And my point was, I can't assess his daughter from here. I don't know what could be happening. There are those cases where somebody's got allergies. There are those cases where somebody is in a prodromal phase. See, I like to use those fancy words that you don't know. That makes me sound so smart. In the prodromal phase of moving into some kind of psychosis, something. However, and I mentioned this to the gentleman, given my experience in dealing with these kinds of outbursts, and they're very common among our youth people, sadly common, that much of the time, if not most of the time, nothing is wrong with the child. This is not some kind of neurological mechanism that's out of whack. This is not some kind of deep-rooted psychological pathology that just erupts periodically. Unfortunately, in the culture we live in, we point to the child. This is a seriously disturbed child. And when I said to him, there's a pretty good chance there's nothing wrong with your daughter, I'm sure he didn't believe that. But he was so desperate that he did what I said. He wrote me back a couple weeks later. He admitted, my wife and I were very skeptical. But at their wits' end, they tried what I suggested. And I didn't get fancy. I mean, this is just really basic, straight-ahead stuff. And it was consequential. He said they hadn't had an outburst like that for 2 weeks, and they were getting 1 or 2 a day. He played a recording of his daughter in one of her outbursts, screaming, yelling, kicking, punching, whatever she was doing. The pediatrician listened to it and just thought, oh, man, this is one major league messed up internal kid. And I get so frustrated because I get this all the time. What is wrong with my child? Something is wrong. And the vast majority of the time, nothing is wrong. It is a dynamic between the parent and the kid, and the parent is overwhelmed. And most of the time, the parents think, well, it's got to be something wrong because I'm a good disciplinarian. It's got to be something wrong because we have a stable family life. It's got to be something wrong because there's love in our home. Well, I've been at this, I don't want to say how long, but I've been at this a long, long time. Decades and decades. And I get this all the time. They come into my office wondering what's wrong with the child. And we work with them. And lo and behold, the child gets better dramatically fast. Interestingly enough, he said, and this I hear this all the time, he said, and she seems so much happier. Well, of course, because she was allowed to let it all hang out. When you're a kid and you're upset, you don't really necessarily have to follow too many rules if you really want to go crazy. I mean, when I get mad, I just kind of like, I don't know, go lift weights and lift harder and hurt myself. I don't kick walls. I don't throw stuff. I don't scream. But kids, hey, if this stuff has been working or this stuff has been making my distress with you clear? Oh, I'm going to do it. And it's interesting because part of the frustration for me is we just so quickly point to something wrong with the child instead of looking at ourselves. Now, the problem is when you look at yourself, you need some guidance to look at yourself. You've been looking at yourself. Most of the people who come into my office, they're lost. They can't understand why this is getting worse or not improving at the least. Because as they see it, well, not all the time. Some of them do have insight to say, you know what, I've let this slip out of control. But many, as they see it, would say, I don't get it. I don't get it. We have 2 other children, and we do not have these problems with the other 2. It must be this one. And what I'll usually say is, well, that one may be a little tougher in their temperament or a little more pushy or a little more immature, whatever it might be because of the way they're wired. But that doesn't mean they're disturbed. It means they overwhelmed your parenting when the other 2 didn't. That's the difference. One more point. What if this kid is, for example, struggling with self-image, and that self-image makes them feel very low, and when they feel low, they act out? Or what if this kid is wired in such a way to be trip switch? Frustration, explosion. That's the connection. There's nothing in between. Even if so, do you simply say, well, now I guess I can't do anything about it because that's the way they're wired? Research has shown that alcoholism has a 25% genetic component. Do you just simply say, well, okay, then I guess you could be alcoholic? No. You work against, you work to teach, you work to improve what the temperamental inclination is. And I got to tell you, I was so happy to hear that gentleman 2 weeks later writing me like that. And I told him, I warned him. I said, be careful because you're going to get regression. It's going to start up again. Don't think you turned the corner perfectly. No, don't forget. This girl has had a lot of habits built up over how many years. So yeah, right now she's kind of, whoa, who took over my parents' body? But she'll do it again. Oh, it's okay. Deal with it the way you did again. You'll get better. All right. I better talk to you, dear folks, who are patiently waiting. Please don't leave me. 877-573-7825. Dr. Ray.
Call now for great advice from Dr. Ray. Now, don't you feel better?
Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866-AVE-MARIA or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
Experience a once-in-a-lifetime evening of sacred music at the 2nd Annual St. Patrick Mozart Festival, Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Hear Mozart's Coronation Mass and a rare Michael Haydn cantata in its North American premiere, performed by the St. Patrick's Lorica Choir, soloists, and orchestra, all at St. Patrick's in White Lake, conducted by Konstantin Novotny. Suggested donation is $20. For more information, go to stpatrickwhitelake.org.
Ave Maria Radio wants to invite you, your family, and friends to a very special getaway at the historic Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, Michigan, this August 9th to the 11th, with daily mass and powerful talks from Bishop Robert Barron, Monsignor James Patrick Shea, Rachel Bullman, and Father Frankie Cicero. Celebrate 250 years of America with gourmet meals, dancing to the Grand Hotel Orchestra, and more. Book this Ave Maria Radio trip now by clicking the travel tab at AveMariaRadio.net.
Underwritten in part by the following nonprofit.
Do you feel as though life is flying past you? Are you desperate for a way to find moments of peace and quiet? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian prayer series, will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
Sophia, I can't believe you dropped. Sophia, if you can hear this, give me a call back. How to convert to being Catholic. It's not hard, but it's not where you just simply say, I believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, and I welcome him into my heart, and therefore I am now a Christian. Not to enter the Catholic Church. All right, let's get up to you now. Latika, I think, is how I'm pronouncing that, from San Francisco. I left my heart there. Hi, Latika, how are you?
Hello, hello, Dr. Ray. My name is Leticia.
Leticia. Okay, there's no IA in that.
Leticia.
I got that. It was just Laticia. You're calling from San Francisco. How are you? We don't have an affiliate in San Francisco, so how are you listening?
iHeart Radio.
Okay, great. Good to know. Tell me about your step-grandson here.
Okay, so I am teaching him to play the piano, and he was doing very good. And then I started to notice that he lies about little things that I don't know. But the reason that I thought, okay, I need help now, because the last lesson was very difficult, because his so I clean whenever his mother comes. I clean everything every single day, every single lesson. I clean the floors. We don't have carpet except for this one tiny rug in the entrance. So I clean that day. I remove the rug. I put everything back. And by the end of the lesson, I find there something that I had asked the mother to please bring. And she says, oh, no, I'm sorry. He lost it. He dropped his folder, and he says everything fell out. Okay, I tell her, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. Not a problem. So by the end of the lesson, my husband comes home about an hour later, and he finds that piece of paper on top of that little rug that I had removed.
Okay, so Leticia, let me hurry you along here, dear. Your grandson lied to you, right? He gave his mother a story.
Yes, but his mother
believed him.
But his mother,
she believed him.
The mother put it in the floor, like she helped him.
You saying the mother covered for him? She lied along with him?
Yes, she lied along with him, and she put the music sheet. She put it in a spot there. Then there's no way. She's the only person who could have put it there, because he was in his lesson.
Did you ask her about this? Did you say, I found it, and it's... Okay, why not?
No, because my husband found it. He had already told me the day before that he lost it.
Okay. So, in other words, you think he deliberately put it there so he wouldn't have to practice it?
I think the mother put it there for him while he was in the classroom, in the room, in the piano room.
I'm kind of confused, but are you saying this was just a one-time? It's just a one-time incident, but or he has a habit of lying a lot to get out of responsibilities or something he doesn't want to do?
Well, what I see is more of a habit, a pattern that keeps happening in different ways of lying.
Okay.
But I see that the mother covers for him, and they're like little things that, there's no reason to lie.
Well, we don't know we don't know what mother's motive is for covering for him. Maybe she doesn't want you to think he's a bad kid. She doesn't want to feel she's a bad mom. Who knows what her motive is? What I would do is, when you catch him in these little lies, you would simply tell her, here's what he told me, and here's what I found. That's what I'd tell her. I would just simply say that. I wouldn't say, he lied to me. I wouldn't say, you got to get him under control. I'd simply say, here's what he told me, and here's what I found. Do you want me to do anything about this? Now, obviously, you can't do much about it because he's just coming over to get his piano lesson. Okay? So, for whatever the reason, how old is he, Letitia?
He's 9.
Okay. Whatever the reason, if she's doing this, then you got to figure he's lying to her a lot. And maybe she doesn't know how to handle it. But now it's spilling over, as you'd expect it to do, with you. He's going to lie to you too now. And especially if you expect him to practice. Especially if you expect him to come back and master a little song that you gave him. And I lost that. I didn't get to practice it because I lost that. Yeah, I mean, that's just a standard dodge. So I'd go to Mom and I'd say, here's what he told me, and here's what I found out. That's what I'd do.
So, for example, that same day that this happened, I have a laptop, and I will be removing all electronics for the next lesson because this is what happened during the lesson, is that he wasn't paying attention, and he looks like he's losing interest. So he gets up.
That's what you do. I'm going to have to let you go, honey, because I've got other calls. I'm going to have to let you go. But what I would say is that you do what you need to do. If you remove the laptop and this kid's distractible, see, we can't know what his life is like at home. We can't know what he's allowed to be on. We can't know if he's endlessly on a device. We can't know how he is.
The videos.
There you go. So if all that's happening, he's coming over and he's practicing with you. And to him, this is boring. This takes effort. I don't want to do it. I'd much rather be on a device. My mom lets me be on a device. So I suspect this. I suspect that sometime in the near future, Letitia, you're going to find out he wants to quit piano. If I was a betting man. And then you're going to have to talk to his mom and see what she says about all this. Thanks for the call, dear, so much. 877-573-7825. That is the number to call to get onto the program. I will get to your call. Sophia, I can't believe you did this. Even when I asked you not to leave me, you simply left me. I feel very disrespected. 877-57-EQUAL is the number. We will get to you. We have a caller from New York. We'll deal with the sleep issues and discipline. I want to make a comment about this. When my sister has an ear. She has, I don't want to say she has perfect pitch, but she can hear a song and just play it. So she was 7 years old when this happened, and so they bought her an organ. Back in those days, it was a heyday of the organs. I was 12, and my dad said, "Ray, you want to take some lessons?" I go, "I'll take a couple. That's it. I figured a couple lessons. Get this out of my bailiwick here." Well, I did take a couple, and the teacher, boy, I'll tell you, I don't know if I'll ever forgive her for this. She told my dad he has some natural talent. Oh, that's all my dad needed to hear. Raymond, you're going to take organ lessons. Oh, come on, Pop. I want to play football after school. Organ lessons, you sit down and oh. Okay. So I did. I played. And I'll admit, I didn't practice all that much. I did not. But I got better. And as I got better, I could play some songs that I liked. It was okay. One thing led to another, and I took lessons for 4 years. All the time thinking, I mean, there were times I'd argue with my dad. I go, "Hey, Dad, come on. I'm not going to be a professional or anything like that." Yeah, the wisdom of a kid who can't see beyond his nose. When I was 18, I played my first restaurant, played for 10 years professionally. Put myself through college with no loans. My dad, if he'd let me, I'd have quit. But he said, "No, Ray, you're going to at least try this for a little while," and put a time limit on me. And fortunately enough, the time limit got me to the point where I was motivated myself. Not the best. Didn't see it turning out that way. Question I got, Dr. Ray, what is the difference between diaries in your day And social media today. Oh, that's easy. That's real easy. In my day, if somebody read your diary about your thoughts, private life, and behavior, you got mad. It's private. I don't want you reading this. Nowadays, if you put out your thoughts, your life, your behavior on social media, and nobody is interested, you get mad. Just a different. Well, Sophia, I don't know if I nagged her, I badgered her, I don't know. She just dumped me. Peremptorily just dumped me. But she called back because I was playing hard to get. It's the way to do it. Hi, Sophia.
Hello, how are you today?
Where did you go?
I'm actually at work right now, and I'm a driver, and I got nervous, so I hung up.
That was it? You just got nervous?
I got nervous.
Okay, Sophia, I got to tell you, I am a highly trained clinical professional, and I can deal when people are nervous. So I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a little guidance here. Are you ready? Now don't try this. Don't try this at home. You're not trained. I'm trained. Ready? Sophia, just relax. There you go. How's that? You better now?
That's so much better.
Okay, dear. So your question is how to convert to Catholic. My question is why? Why to convert to Catholic?
Why would I want to?
Yeah.
Well, my family before me was all Catholics on both sides, and for some reason my parents decided, nope, nix that, and so I never grew up in the church or anything. I'm interested in it. I don't know much about it, so I wanted to know if it's worth converting, and if I were to, how to.
I'm going to assume that you believe that Jesus Christ is who he said he was, that he was God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to start there. You know, if you got to figure, if this guy was legit, if he was who he said he was, then this is big. This is really big. Okay, this is like the biggest decision you'll make in your whole life. That said, there's a lot of churches out there, a whole bunch of different ones, like 30-some thousand, 35,000 independent churches, denominations. Man, they're all over the place, and they're all over the map in what they believe too. Okay, so that's another point. So why Catholic? Why are you attracted to that? If you know nothing about it, why are you attracted to it?
I guess it's just because my family was. I feel like that would be the easiest to get into, considering that my parents both grew up Catholic. For guidance, I could, of course, ask them.
Well, if they didn't want you then to become Catholic, what will they react like now?
I think it was less they didn't want me to. It was just they didn't have the time to bring us to church and everything.
So if you
wasn't as easy.
Okay, so if you became Catholic, it'd be an inconvenience for them.
A little bit.
Okay. There's a couple things you can do, honey. First of all, if you want to explore this, you can go to your local, close by parish, and you can talk with the priest, and he can put you in a program they call OCIA, which is it's probably several months long, and you'll learn a lot about the Catholic faith, what it teaches, what it believes, and why Catholics believe that is the church that Jesus intended to found. We can trace our history all the way back to the apostles. However, here's one way that you can get every single question you have about anything answered. Okay? If you go to Catholic.com, which is the website for Catholic Answers, and you can just simply type in whatever question you have about anything. Or you could even say, I know nothing about the Catholic Church. Where do I begin? And they will answer anything you ask.
Okay.
Now, there are a lot of books out there, too. Okay, I have one. I have one called What Catholics Really Believe. It's on my website. But there are just a whole boatload of books. There's a book called Catholicism for Dummies. You know, I read that one. It was a little above me, but I read it anyway. And there's just a whole bunch. If you do an internet search, you'll find all kinds of stuff that explains the faith very, very colloquially. In other words, easy to understand in our language. Not heavy theology, nothing like that. Some of them are question and answer books. They'll say, why do Catholics give Mary such high status? Why do Catholics believe that the Eucharist is the body and blood of Christ? Why do Catholics revere priests? They just have all these questions. There's tons of them. I would say this to you, dear. I left the church for about 8 years. I was in my probably my 30s. I just left. I did not believe. I just went into a non-denominational independent church. And I had to begin a search. I had to see, okay, wait a minute. Is the Catholic Church who she says? What's the evidence for this? I'm not just going to say automatically she's very different. So I started the search, and I'll tell you, Sophia, from my journey, I looked back in the early church. We have writings from the very, very earliest church, the first century. And in fact, oh boy, what they believed was very much aligned with what the Catholic Church teaches now. Very much. Mm-hmm. And I thought, whoa, man, this thing has been here. So that's what I would suggest you do. And I think it's wonderful that you want to look into it. One other thing you can do, you can say, Lord, not sure where you want me, but give me a guidance here. Give me some movement. Help me to get on the path that you think is best for me. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Well, how precious of you. Sophia, tell you what, honey. In your struggles, in your search, you can call here anytime, or you can call. There's so many good Catholic apologetics programs. If you're listening, there's Call to Communion with David Anders. There is Catholic Answers. There are Colin Donovan through EWTN. I mean, it's endless how many there are. So you can just call them and say, okay, here's something I don't understand. Here's something I don't get. Why do you do this? All those things. Now, by the way.
And they'll help me out.
Oh, gosh, yes. Oh, yeah. They'll be ecstatic to talk to you. But here's the other thing. I'm kind of selfish here, Sophia, because, see, if you end up becoming Catholic, I get, like, partial credit. You know what I mean? And, like, I can get, like...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, holier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the call, honey. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your day, sir.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. Got some good calls up there, please. I'll be with you. She was working. She took time off from work. Well, yeah, she's a driver because I heard in the background somebody giving her direction. I got one of those GPSs. I think that half the time when you don't go the way that GPS says you're supposed to go, there's a subtle, you can't hear it. You have to really tune it up. But there's a very subtle, at the end of her re-instruction is idiot. Yeah, it's true. She'll say, at the next intersection, make a U-turn, idiot. Turn right at the next light to get back on the proper route, idiot. I know. I can hear it. It's there. Call me. Thinking it very close to the speed of thought. They measure that, you know. They measure how fast, when you're thinking, that those electrochemical impulses up there in the countless trillions of connections in your brain move. I think mine moves about maybe about an inch an hour, something like that. Anonymous, young mother. Oh, geez, I'm gender assuming. It says female here, but I'm just going to assume. I hope she doesn't get upset. Hi, Mom.
Hi, how are you?
I got to believe this is your first kid, right?
Yes.
I know. Because this is a 9-month-old who, when you said sleep issues, what do you mean?
So she was a really good sleeper up until the 4-month sleep regression, and then we've been doing not great since then, but recently it's gotten pretty bad. So she's breastfed. She pretty much at this point at night, it's really hard to put her down. And I've debated doing sleep training, cry it out methods, but I feel really bad doing that because I've heard it's bad for attachment, leaving them to cry in the crib alone. But sometimes I'm up with her like 3 hours during the night, and I'm going crazy because I'm not sleeping, and my husband's not sleeping, and it has not been good.
Well, this is one of the downsides of attachment parenting. One, it makes you feel guilty as all get out. And two, it doesn't take into account some of the other issues, the point of total exhaustion on the part of the parent. But you said something interesting, dear. You said she breastfeeds, and then I have a hard time setting her down. Is it you that has a hard time, or because she's crying, you don't want to set her down?
So it's not that she's crying, and yes, I guess it's me that has a hard time setting her down because I try to set her down without waking her up. But a lot of times, unless like I can kind of sneak to a different position after nursing her to sleep and then rock her for a few more minutes, like if I just set her down or unlatch her while she's sleeping, she typically like immediately tries to like start nursing again the second I unlatch her, like while she's sleeping. And she won't take a pacifier. She won't stay asleep. Like she'll wake up within a minute if I try to even just hold her when she's in that state, unless eventually she gets so tired she just stops. But I don't know.
Who gets tired first, you or her? Who gets tired first, you or her?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she's tired enough to go to sleep, but maybe me. I don't know.
Well, I was going to ask you when I saw what Eric put up there to summarize your call. I was going to ask, what kind of advice are you getting from other people? And you touched upon it a little bit. Obviously, you're familiar with attachment parenting thinking, right?
Yes. So actually, a lot of my relatives, like my grandma told me, oh, don't spoil her, like make sure you're not holding her too much and don't let her cry it out in her crib. And I haven't heard a whole lot from my parents on the subject, but like the older adults in my life are telling me to just put her down and like let her cry. But then the younger people are like, oh, well, don't do that because, it's the attachment theory. So, but I kind of want to err on the side of caution because I'm not, do you
want to err on the side of caution? Do you want to err on the side of caution, or do you want to err on the side of exhaustion?
With not making her have attachment issues. And I'm not like anti-spanking or anti-discipline or anything like that. I just want to make sure she also knows that
this what frustrates me. And all you attachment people out there, God bless you. If you want to do it, do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. But this is what frustrates me about attachment parenting. You said, I don't want her to have attachment issues. The implication is, if you're not there every moment, any time, then you're going to mess your kid up. And furthermore, you don't even know how you're messing your kid up because it's not going to pop up until they're 23 years old and they don't have empathy. Talk about a stretch. Yes, the older parents, the older generation, that's what they did. They put us down, we fussed ourselves to sleep, we cried ourselves to sleep. One time I cried 9 hours. So, yeah, that can happen. A compromise for you, maybe. In some sleep training, you go in there after, say, maybe half an hour, she's carrying on, you just kind of rub her back and you soothe her a little bit, and you do that for about 5 minutes and see if you can calm her down, and then you go back. And then she'll start fussing again, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to go back in a half an hour, I'll soothe her again, but I'm not picking her up. I'm not bringing her in because I'm exhausted. She's not learning to sleep through the night. A 9-month-old, by and large, other than breastfeeding, they'll sleep through the night. This is way past the average 3 to 4 month period where they sleep through the night. So what you're doing is you're making yourself scared. I'm going to mess my kid up. But the downside is I'm exhausted. Every night is a drudge. Every night is frustrating. And if I don't do that, well, they're telling me I'm not a good mom. Oh, boy. Mom, you got to decide here. You got to decide how do you do this? You breastfeed her. You put her down quietly. She fusses. You kind of rub her back a little bit. You sing her a song, whatever you want to do for a couple, 3 minutes. And then you go back to your bed. And you see at the end of a half an hour if she's back asleep. If not, you go back in. You kind of rub her a little bit. You'll teach her that, in fact, once her belly's full and nothing's wrong, she'll go to sleep. Happens most of the time. Unless there's something physically going on. If this is a healthy little baby, she'll go to sleep. But be careful. Attachment parenting is fine if parents wish to do it. That's fine. Unfortunately, sometimes what it makes people feel like is if you don't do attachment parenting, somehow you're a deficient parent. And somehow, psychologically speaking, you're messing up your kid because they feel isolated, they feel neglected, they feel ignored, and it's all burying down in their psyche, and it's going to sit there because you're causing all kinds of problems because when they were crying, they needed you. That's a sign they need you, and you didn't go in. Whoa. Whew. So, there's my pontification on that, Mom.
Thank you. Do you think the same should apply for naps?
Yeah, I do. Because what can happen is, again, you kind of trained her. You kind of trained her to not sleep unless there are completely certain conditions. The problem with those conditions is they're exhausting you and your husband. You're human. We had 10 kids. Our 9th kid, somebody asked my wife, is Petey sleeping through the night yet? And he was about 3 months old. And my wife very wryly answered, I don't know if he is, but we are. I heard what she was saying. It's time for us. And he was very capable. And so Petey is now 29 years old. He loves the Lord. He's a beautiful human being. I guess we didn't damage him too much. Good luck to you, Mom. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
You're
no,
welcome.
I was just going to say, so do you think I should kind of do interval crying methods? Because, I was trying the whole, pick up, put down method. That didn't work because she would just never learn to sleep. And then, so I just gave up. But now I'm kind of at my
I wouldn't pick up, put down. I wouldn't pick up, put down. Just rub her back while she's laying there. Whatever you want to do and soothe her however you want, but let her stay in the bed. She could be teething too, and that's usually starts to happen around 4 or 5 months, and then they get crabbier that way. We had that situation with my second daughter. I mean, she woke up about 9 months and she was just raging. And we put her in a playpen down in the family room, and after about several nights, it was over. She just fell asleep, and that was it. And she's also an attorney, so we did fail. But we'll talk to you. Thanks for the call, Mom. This is Dr. Ray.
Give your child a Catholic education rooted in truth, beauty, and goodness. At St. John Paul II's Classical Catholic School on the campus of Christ the Good Shepherd in Lincoln Park, students receive authentic Catholic teaching while studying the great books, sacred music, practical mathematics, and Latin. Learning to stand firm in the faith because your child's education should form both saints and scholars. Enroll now at jp2catholic.com.
What does the Eucharist do for daily conversion and penance? The Catholic Catechism tells us we are fed by the Eucharist, for in it Christ's sacrifice on the cross, which reconciles us to God, is made present. The Council of Trent declared that the Eucharist is a remedy to free us from our daily faults and to preserve us from mortal sins. Such devotions as reading sacred scripture, praying the Liturgy of the Hours, the Our Father, and every sincere act of worship revives the spirit of conversion and repentance within us and contributes to the forgiveness of sins. The Catechism cites the parable of the prodigal son and the very merciful Father as a classic tale of conversion, saying only the heart of Christ, who knows the depths of his Father's love, could reveal it to us in such a simple and beautiful way. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism.
You're listening to Ave Maria Radio. Ave Maria Radio. This year, Guest House is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Opening their doors in May in 1956 in Lake Orion, Michigan, Guest House is the world's most successful treatment center designed exclusively for the ordained and consecrated, including those in formation. For 70 years, they've been a beacon of hope and healing for more than 8,000 guests seeking lasting recovery from addiction and other behavioral health conditions. Support their mission today at guesthouse.org. That's guesthouse.org.
Dr. Ray Guarendi here. The program Doctor is in Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, co-production, EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network, and Ave Maria Radio Communications. We're going to be one of those guys that does that kind of talking. Amy from Houston. Amy, what are you so burnt out about?
Well, long story short, I am a healthcare provider, and I see patients back to back throughout the whole day, and I have so many notes at the end of the day, and I'm falling behind. I requested a longer lunch, not paid, but it helps get the morning notes done. I get adequate sleep at night. My sleep's pretty good, but I'm just I want to request part-time. I'm whooped, yeah. And have you experienced burnout? You were in healthcare, and I don't want to. I don't want to stop the quality of my work to do notes during the session, but also if I don't do that, then I'm behind on notes. I don't know what to do.
Are you a physician, a nurse?
Physical therapist.
Physical therapist. All right. Well, I got a lot of hands-on stuff, so it would be hard to do notes anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's
how detailed your notes have to be?
Not too detailed, but
Okay.
it's the tough thing is, I think there's part of it that's imposter syndrome to where if I don't do all these things and somehow I'm failing my patient, how do I let go of that?
Well, you got to realize you're not failing your patient. You say, how do I not think that way? Don't think that way. If you say to yourself,
that's true.
That's true. It is true. If you're saying to yourself, I'm failing my patient, the question becomes, how? Well, I'm not doing every single thing I could do. Well, you're not, but you can't because your patients are time limited.
Yeah.
Do you work for yourself or do you work for a company who says you have to put out this much product?
I work for a company that says I have to put out X amount of units per hour, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What I did when I was working 12-hour days at the mental health center is I did this, back to back. I did the standard 45 to 50-minute session, and then I just wrote whatever notes I had after that, and I wasn't going to back them up. Now, if you're worried you're going to lose your job, if they come to you and say, Amy, you're just not doing it, then at that point, I think you got a big decision to make. Do you want to run on this treadmill for this group or not? That's the first thing. The second thing is there's probably a lot of wiggle room in the way you're handling your patients. For example, if you give them a certain exercise and you say, all right, I need you to do 8 of those, pick up your notebook and write down whatever you have to write down so that by the end of that session with that patient, you've written down what you had to write down. And then take about 5 or 10 minutes before you go to the next one. That's what I did back when I was with the mental health center.
Mind if I throw in another detail?
Sure.
So we have 40-minute sessions and 38 units. Well, 38 minutes is what we need for 3 to 4 units. And so that gives me only 2 minutes to, I guess, wrap things up or see if I can sneak off to the bathroom. So I don't know what to do about that.
Well, that is a structure, Amy. They've got you structured, and I think you're finding out, like I found out, that 12-hour back-to-back days were not for me. You know, I looked elsewhere to do other things.
Yeah.
And you may have to at some point if this is just a operation that is essentially a treadmill. But there's ways. I mean, you got the 2 minutes back to back. You ever get no shows?
No, we have too good of a cancellation policy.
Oh, okay. Well, then at that point, I wish I could give you more details. Call me back, okay? Because I want to talk to you more about this, please. Thank you. Gail, you're absolutely right. Rice cereal in the milk does help, but the baby's being breastfed right now. So I don't know if she wanted to put, I don't know how she would put rice cereal when she's breastfeeding, but I know what you're saying, and that's a very common suggestion by some because actually it satisfies the stomach better, especially when the child's older like that. Okay. Oh, I misread the clock. Ah, nuts. I didn't have to leave Amy. Well, anyway. At some point in a profession, you're often forced to rethink it. I was forced to rethink it. I mean, I worked clinical practice 10, 15 years. That's all I did. And at some point, I said, this is not something that I want to do. I'm losing focus. I don't want to do this hour after hour after hour after hour. And so I looked for other ways to split up what I did as a professional. And maybe Amy will get to that point too. She may do some private work. She may do some consulting work. I'm assuming she's a PhD, so she's probably got a lot of avenues open to her. Thank you for joining me here. Thanks, Andrew Kruchek. Thanks, Eric Dumont. And I appreciate all you callers. You have one walk. Best physical therapy in the world. Walk with God.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.